Hello. Welcome to the disgusting void. How are you? Yeah. Yeah, it really has. It really has. Axe, eh? They're still doing those? I just learned today that there's an MGS con. Apparently, this is the third year, so it's pretty new. Did not know that was a thing. Yes, Metal Gear Solid. Nice, Omni. Hell yeah. Probably a Docker, I'd imagine. Oh, you haven't Dockered. Oh my God. Disgusting. SMH my head. Funny enough, I think in the TrueNAS catalog, let me see here. Category games. I guess not. Well, there's a Steam farm apparently for farming Steam trading cards on multiple accounts. There's Land Cache. There's Mine OS, server front end, Satisfactory, Crafty 4, which is a Minecraft server wrapper, Pal World server, Steam Headless Terraria server, Pterodactyl panel? No fucking idea. Minecraft server Bedrock edition, Factorio server, Gaseous server, ooh, ROM and title management, as well as some basic in-browser emulation. Minecraft server Java. Could have sworn there was a Zomboid. I guess not. I'm sure there's a Docker for it, though. I would not be surprised. It's not void. Server Docker Compose. There it is. Project Zomboid server Docker file. Docker file. This Docker file downloads the Project Zombie, buddy? Come on now. How many stars does this GitHub have? Project Zombie dedicated server using Steam command. Steam CMD. Probably doesn't mean command. That's how I read it, though. I said it out loud to other people. That's a thing I did. Bunch of environment variables. Docker Compose is basically magic. I think Docker is winning, though, unfortunately. I don't really have a flag in either. But I know that Docker is like the accessible one, and then Kubernetes is the super nerd one. And yeah, no. You know how that always goes, right? Hey, Zick, we were just talking about containers. How you doing? We love containers around here. Something to think about for all those unhappy Crunchyroll users today. Food for thought. Food for thought. Because, you know, did not experience that problem with my service today. I don't know. I don't use it, but I saw people were unhappy. Ah, yes. What an interesting sound you made, if a yeah. Similar sound. Anime Tosho. As the saying goes, if buying isn't owning, and then you know the rest. This definitely feels like the time to hoard things. You know? It feels prudent. Yep. Damn, if you edged me out. Mine is a 38 terabyte array. If I had money, I'd have a much stupider array. I have my own internet. Uh, but I have been, frolicking through the fields of containers and bit by bit replacing every piece of big tech that I can. Yeah, that's almost enough to hold two Call of Duties. Yeah. I mean, it sums up an entire life often, Jake, right? I think that's what always kind of had me questioning stuff my whole life, the way shit is. It's like, I remember feeling like basically forever. It was always like, I hate how I can't do the things I want to do simply because I cannot access the necessary equipment or software or whatever because it's all, gate kept. Um, and that if I had money, I'm not even interested in luxury. I'm interested in access. Oh ho, aha, if I'm 38 TB, usable. 60 before raid. Oh no, not really sick. I'm just playing around. It's not a competition. What other cowardly things can I say? You can honestly get quite far without having to spend. I keep trying to sing this song to everyone, sing this siren song, but you really don't need to have a big, huge, expensive NAS. Um, for power user stuff, sure, but you can get quite far with like just a sizable external drive. You can get quite far with 4 terabytes. Play around with this stuff. It's worth knowing and it's not hard to learn. If you don't want to fuck with Linux, install Docker on your Windows machine and look up how to do like Docker Compose, all that shit. And if you have a little bit of storage or if you have an external drive, like 2 terabytes, 4 terabytes, you can get on the train. It's I can point you in the right directions. It's one of those things where, obviously we shouldn't be like openly saying certain things, but it's all out there to be found. Um, I can say the names of applications such as sonar, radar, LiDAR, but the API is down and has been down for 15 days and it's been driving me fucking crazy, but they're bringing it back right now. It's about to be fixed. They're doing a sort of metered access for a little while, but they're getting it fixed. Trash guides, something, something, trash guides. Yup. Notifier. um, Radar is dead, sort of, but there is reading glasses, Radar and reading glasses. Uh, yeah, there's been some There's been a little bit of struggle in our land of late, but it's it's fine. It's fine. Chapter is looking really good. All of these have two R's on the end. They call them the R's. Star ARR. These would be good places to start. So my recommendation is, if you have like a 2 terabyte drive, you don't even have to have that. I mean, it's all down to your mileage may vary, or however, like to your taste, whatever you want to do. And yeah, you don't have to use the automated tools. I like the automated tools, but you don't have to use them. I think they make it more user friendly if we're talking about accessibility here. But look up stuff around that, around those applications, around installing Docker and how to run Docker Compose, how to set up a Docker Compose file. It's not hard. It may look intimidating, but it's not difficult. Often the defaults will get you by. You have to make sure you don't have conflicting ports. And the whole thing where you have the convention of port number : port number, that's external : internal. Pro tip. One is how it talks from within, and the other is how it talks to without. Yeah, from and to. Thank you, Zick. Oh my God, let's not let's not get into religious debates about fucking config fucking files. Yeah, just look it up. Toml, YAML. I was going to list off a bunch of others, and I couldn't remember any others. I'm fine with them all. I really have a philosophy of I hate putting flags in things, man. I really don't like it. Unless it's something really, really egregious. I mean, I do have my things I don't like. So I guess I'm not I shouldn't like portray myself as some sort of saint here. Like I hate jQuery. Apparently he's making a comeback. But for the most part, I try not to put flags and things because I just don't give a fuck. If it works, that's enough to make me happy. I will go with the flow if it fucking works. But yeah, that'll get you started. Um, there's there is one big aspect of it that is not as clear and obvious, but there is a big difference between Usenet and torrents and the associated indexers, which is a whole thing that I'm not going to explain here. Personally, I am a preferer of the NZB approach. I like the whole everything is encrypted aspect, and I get by fine. But you know, the thing is that there is some like digging and researching you have to do there to understand some stuff, and you might have to pay for a thing or two, but usually it's like pretty chill, like $15 a year or something like that. Like, okay, whoop-de-doo. And the alternative is what IFA's saying. I'm not a big fan of that approach myself, but it's probably the easiest approach. No, I mean being against the so okay. I mean, I guess yeah. I mean, like I said, I shouldn't paint myself as some sort of a saint here because there are things that I guess it's more so things that I it's not that I don't necessarily don't like putting a flag in things. It's that I have very specific things I don't like for very specific reasons. And like I think the reasons with Windows are quite obvious, right? Windows has always been marching in the direction of more telemetry, data harvesting, anti-user, anti-consumer. It's not really your operating system. It's not really your computer when you have Windows installed on it, you know. So I have my reasons for wanting to completely divorce myself from Windows as much as possible. And of course, all big tech I would like to escape from as much as possible. I'm at the point now where I'm like, I'm getting close to just getting away from every damn thing. Obviously, there's things I can't escape. I can't run my own Twitch, for instance. But I am very much disconnecting from Google. But wait, you can. No, I can't. I don't have the bandwidth to broadcast out to people. Something I have been thinking about a lot though is I wish we could figure out how to roll a sort of like side internet. I wish that we could come up with a like a sort of open source separate internet. But unfortunately, I don't think that like societally we have the drive to actually make such things actually occur. That's the dream, Maddie. That's really the dream. Um, just a really weird commune where all of you move in, but to like one side of like like it's completely separated thing. I'm on one side, and all the rest of you are on the other. It's like the weirdest cult possible. Yeah. I read an interesting article actually about self-hosting. It wasn't intended to be critical of self-hosting, but it was interesting in the perspective that it was talking about with regards to like self-hosting is really cool and all, but the problem with it is that it's hyper individualistic, right? And everybody can't be expected to run all their own shit. Like it's great to be able to free yourself from the clutches of like a Google or a Meta or a Microsoft or whatever, but not everybody can do that. And it's not a community driven thing, and we don't have a path to a community driven thing, you know? Every time anybody makes any sort of an alternative, in order for it to sustain, because it costs money to run servers and pay for bandwidth and employees and so on and so forth. I mean, and this just leads into the thing that frustrates me about everything forever, which is that I don't understand why everybody doesn't realize the inevitable end game of everything with the way we do everything. The inevitable end game is always, always shareholders and profit and being a product. We are a product. Like there's no escape from that. You're only the only thing you could hope for in the situation is like a billionaire benefactor, and of the billionaires that we have, so far there's been zero of those. So I don't think we should hold out hope. Hi, Kiki. I'm doing about as good as I can be. But thank you for your kind words. Whenever this happens, I never know how much to reveal to the person who may or may not have been following along, how much of a curmudgeon I've become. You know, how much of a like a weird hermit in the woods I am now, who just yells about stuff. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. If you've been out for a long time, then yeah, it would be a totally different cast. It's wild to see like older VODs where I had the chat on the screen and you see like these names that were regulars for like years and then, moved on or whatever. Not to mention, there was a whole thing. I think for a long time, it wasn't easy to change your name on Twitch. And then one day, I think Twitch made it easy to change your name. And like a fuck ton of people changed their names. And I didn't know who the fuck anybody was anymore. So that happened at some point. That was a number of years ago now. Yeah. Unfortunately, even the federated stuff I don't think is really a viable, fully viable alternative. It's not bad, but something that I have mentioned before that I think is a problem, and I think why Blue Sky was successful over something like Mastodon, is that, as people call it, uh, people want the juice. They want that town hall aspect of it. Like they don't want to be in a little box with a handful of people. They want to be where the people are. um, to quote Ariel. And that's the thing, that's what people liked about Twitter, was that it was like this universal town hall. And that is a thing that I think you need to replicate somehow in this alternative system, whatever shape that would be. And I don't think that anyone has a solution to that problem. Or maybe they do. I don't know. I mean, does Mastodon have a sort of I don't really know enough about it. It's funny because I ran one for a little bit. But I don't know if there isn't really any sort of global aspect to it, right? There's nothing that gives you the sort of global feed of everything. There is kinda. Oh, Citizen Smiley. I remember this name. I recognize it. And yeah, you didn't derail anything. You're good. Yeah, I remember you. I think so many people think this, but I think a lot of people didn't realize how much I remember most regular names that come flowing through over the many, many years. Okay. So it basically it's like opt in is what you guys are saying in Mastodon's case. Yeah, I think that the problem with that is it's always going to sort of feel discombobulated to people. Obviously, people use it. I'm not saying everybody wants this, but I do think that for like the sort of critical mass, um, I think that's what's necessary. But I really do wish that we could come up with a solution. 105 huge months. Yes, of course, Axel. I've managed to remember for I don't know how long now. Whenever it was that you corrected me, you're the preferred shortening of your name forever and ever. uh, well, I was initially a bigger fan of
10 minutes till daddy time.
at Proto and Blue Sky. However, as things have gone on, I've been slowly souring on it because the people behind it, I don't love the choices. I don't love the choices. But I am a regular user of Blue Sky, although I only post horrible things. No one should follow me. My persona on Blue Sky is completely different from how I was on Twitter, where Twitter I kind of kept a lid on things before I deleted my account. On Blue Sky, I've become completely unhinged. I only say unpleasant things there. Yeah, goddamn, that's like it's like going on 10 years now. Then Axel, it's wild. There was one today where I immediately apologized after I said it.
I didn't know I could do that.
Zick.
I didn't know I could fucking do that.
Zick. Thank you for 124 months. 10 years and 4 months, my dude. Yeah, there was a thread of people making fun of the new. For those of you who don't know, I really totally understand what happened, but MSNBC doesn't exist anymore, and now it's going to be called, I guess, MS Now. And they made this new logo. Yeah. Let me see if I can find it real quick for you so you know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. Ah, yes. So there's the logo. I know they kept. I always think of it as Microsoft forever. Anyway, so people were really ripping on this logo. It's insane. Particularly that little like banner thing or whatever. And someone I follow on Blue Sky said, try to make sense of what this shape is supposed to be. What are the stripes supposed to be contouring around? They don't make sense, blah, blah, blah. And I took that as an impetus to just say the first thing that came to the top of my head. And I said, if you see two stripes when you wipe, your ass is pregnant. And then I said, apologies, this is probably in the top 10 of worst shit I've ever written. Oh, God, I'm doing that thing again where I'm reading my posts to you guys. Ah, yes, the famous alien isolation stream. That what was it? It was like I started at my normal stream time, and then I was like, it seems like it's about to end, and I said that continuously for what ended up being 17 hours. Nah, most of the shit I say on Blue Sky is not funny. Actually, mostly I've been committing the posting sin of earnest posting. So a lot of the shit I say is just like it's just a stream of depression that you don't need in your life. I would recommend avoiding it. Oh yeah, I think Nakomi was disappointed in me there. Uh, basically, I have kind of become like a very disgruntled leftist. That's the vibe. Oh, you have me on the doom scrolling list. Yeah, I mean, if you take the proper precautions before going in, then it's fine. Well, thank you for not muting me yet. I think it's just that like my problem is that I'm essentially ashamed of everything that I post. I delete way more than I post. And when I do post afterwards, I'm always like, why am I doing this pointless stuff? Like it feels like one of those things where I'm just saying stuff that I think everybody already thinks, and so I'm just not really there's not really a lot of point in posting it. It's yeah, it's like doom scrolling with solidarity. Most of the people that flocked to Blue Sky were definitely at least left leaning. Um, and Blue Sky has the nuclear block, and they have good, like, basically good self moderation type of controls. So trolls can't really get very far on Blue Sky. They can't get the level of enjoyment that they're used to getting on Twitter, so on and so forth. So the what it really is mostly is that fucking meme of the people with the that are doing their, like, betting on lobsters fighting, but everyone, including the lobsters, is labeled leftists. That's Blue Sky in a nutshell. It's mostly leftists and liberals yelling at each other. Yeah, you're the one that brought me in, Zick. You were the one that got me in. I got to get a little taste of early Blue Sky, but I think you invited me like maybe 2 months before it had its blow up finally, like before they opened it up. Like, I never had the chance to invite anybody myself. Nice, just. I forget what my number was. I know there was a way. They had like a URL for it. Find your Blue Sky number. How do I find that I am user number image? Apparently, you have to go to another website for that. I was number 389,858. I probably saved it somewhere and then I forgot. This, whatever this is giving me insights. It says I am the Wise Owl Connector. You're the one starting thoughtful discussions, sharing wisdom from your perch. You excel at bridging conversations across the platform, creating a web of interconnected discussions. My ass. I've only had one banger on Blue Sky, and that was only because somebody big retweeted it, which was my post of "Come on, Kennedy, curse! Time to do your thing." I haven't looked to see how it was doing in a bit. It didn't even. Yeah, I love the bangers feed. It's really nice to be able to quickly access all of your top ones. That's my number one at 812 likes. Didn't even crack 1,000. My next one was a reply. which was a reply to Robert Evans, who was making fun of the Rearm Europe logo, which looks like a goatsy, as he pointed out. And I said, in nature, all things evolve towards either crabs or goatsy. That was popular. I felt like this one should have done better. This was, I thought this was clever. It was about Elon. I said, it's not his fault, guys. He has Ausspergers. You can guess when that was around. I was on the fence with posting that one. Wasn't sure it was a brilliant idea to combine Auschwitz and Asperger's, but I decided to ship it. As an ally. Oh, I mean, of course I've seen worse as well, but I always sometimes I question the ones where I feel like I'm getting maybe just a tad too close to the line. I forgot about this one. Ah, yeah, I remember. Yeah, I am. Uh, this was when they were voting in all of Trump's little monsters, and just all of the Dems were just like, "Yeah, this seems fine." So I wrote, "Liberals: shut the fuck up, leftists, and watch my party do wheelies on your ass." The party immediately slams head into 10 steel bars one after another, making a really loud clang sound each time, like a cartoon. I feel like all of these have aged really well. I feel like Goatsy has been very prominent on Blue Sky. That's probably important to know before you jump in. It comes up more often than you would expect. What the fuck is it? Oh, no, no. Please tell me. Oh, okay, thank God. What the fuck, comma, is it? Yeah. Well, weirdly, a lot of the fascists have been like making new logos for things, and for some reason, they keep they keep stumbling into the same kind of design. Maybe it's intentional. God, for us old internet people, it sucks so much having the full arc in my head. Because I would imagine for most people, it's like learned after the fact. But I remember when it launched. Is that how you say that? Did it launch when it happened? I don't know how to describe it. Oh God. What was that? There was one fucking website. Not rotten.com. Rotten.com was awful, but there was another, and I'm forgetting the name of it now. What was that fucking website called? No, not Fark. Not something awful, although something awful is the origin of like 99% of things. Not Meat Spin, not Lemon Party, not E-Bomb's World. No, there was another. There was another. No, not Hamster Dance, although man, that would have been something. It was a site that was like just grotesque stuff. It was closer on the spectrum to Rotten.com than anything. But I just simply cannot remember the name of it now. But it was where it was the origin of many awful things. You fucked, I've never heard of that one. Style Project. Style Project. Oh God, what a cursed, what a curse. What a curse. That's the one. Yeah, no, it was definitely like a don't go there kind of place. But it was also the kind of thing that other people would bring up to jump scare you with shit. It's yeah, it's good to have missed it. Wow. Okay, so Goatsy itself was a shock site. There were just a lot of shock sites back then, but that's where the name comes from. It was itself a shock website. I don't remember that. It originally appeared in 1999. Oh my God, we know the name of this person? Wow. Kirk Johnson. Oh, it actually it even started earlier than that on Usenet in 97. Soon after, a hacker group known as the Hick Crew found the image and began to spam it in Christian chat rooms. Ay, ay, ay. Following the success and popularity, oh my God, what a sentence this is. Following the success and popularity of goatsy.cx, several other shock sites were created to mimic it, such as lemonparty.org, meatspin.com, and tubgirl.com. I'm so sad that I know what that is. Each having a single shocking pornographic image. On January 14th, 2004, the domain name goatsy.cx was suspended by Christmas Island Internet Administration due to acceptable use violations in response to a complaint. It only took them 5 years. A Christmas Island resident filed the complaint that resulted in the suspension of the domain name. It only gets more insane as you go. On November 24th, 2000, the Goatsy page was posted to the official online Oprah Winfrey message boards in the Soul Stories board. Oh, what the fuck? No, it's bad though. This is bad. I mean, it if I continue reading, Tristan T. Cotton and Kimberly Springer, authors of Stories of Oprah. And it's funny to read on his face, but then you read on and you realize that this was just like early 4chan shit. The Oprahfication of American culture said that this seemingly considerable male intrusion drove many of the women elsewhere, and the board was retired shortly afterwards. It feels like the opposite of an intrusion. Uh, yeah. I mean, this is what we discovered on the early internet, right? The early internet had all these like open forums and chat rooms and stuff like that. And the reason all that shit is gone is because you cannot have unlocked doors in a world of internet shitheads. You just cannot. You know, they made all of that stuff impossible to have. Yeah, the rest of this is just sort of like the it's a long story about the collapse of the early internet, basically single-handedly caused by Goatsy. Well, on that note, on that note, I should really go. This says, I guess double-handedly. Great point, Jess. Thank you for raising it. I'm leaving now. Thanks for watching. And let's just try to forget that any of this